For my final assignment of the quarter, I wanted to talk about a documentary film that inspires me, Whatever It Takes by director and producer Christopher Wong.
I will be on top of you like white on rice, like bees on honey, for the next month and a half. You will see me more than you want to. You will feel pressure from me like you've never felt before. But know that all of that pressure is for your own good.
I write to you because I ache and don't know what to do. Without you, I am a body that's in the shadow, that moves with the sun. Without you, my feelings is not there. So I write to you to let you know what I am. But what are you without me?
You're not getting as good grades as you wish you were. Why do you think that's the case?
My mother, we don't really connect, whatever. And ever since she's been sick, it haven't been the same. And I've been taking care of my little brother and sister.
And you say you want to be a pediatrician, right?
Yes.
I would hope Yaya would be a pediatrician. I really would like that.
I want to be able to help my mother out, give her money, because the family don't do it. So I want to be that. I want to be her backbone, always be her backbone, help her lead me.
And she's the problem. She's serious issues.
I really believe, Mrs. Baskerville, that this is a chance of a lifetime. Are you ready to grab this? Sharifa, if you grab it, I expect full commitment. Because I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to hurt a lot of people if you're going to say yes and not follow through with this.
My interest in the film began before it was made, and well before I knew it. I spent most of my childhood in Stockton, California, a port city that also specializes in farming. Because of this, many of its residents are primarily made up of blue-collar and brown-collar workers. I never realized how rough it could be growing up in Stockton until I was about 10 and got beat up by street kids walking to a bus station with my grandmother. In my high school years, I learned how to fight, and found myself frequently in trouble. After being jumped by a street gang, the local police suggested that I join a gang myself. It didn't take long before I looked into the history of this town and found that we weren't welcome in the first place. This film was released in 2009 and has received several awards from film festivals. I couldn't help but feel drawn to a story that was so close to my own and a parallel to them all.
Hi, my name is Christopher Wong. I'm the director and producer of Whatever It Takes, a documentary film. For Whatever It Takes, actually, I didn't really start off with an actual point of view or with a point. A lot of people make documentaries to have a message presented, like something is dangerous to your health, or this country is in dire need of assistance, or this disease is going to kill you all. But for me, the whole documentary filmmaking process is really just about exploration into situations and into very interesting characters. And so I found this one character, the principal of the school named Edward Tom, and because he was so riveting and because his mission seemed to be so great, I figured why not follow him during his first year as a principal of this New Bronx school and see, can he have success, or is he going to fail, what's going to happen in a city and in a school system that traditionally has just been known for its awfulness, not for its success. So really, it really was just to see what can happen in this kind of a story and what's the drama that's going to build up. I really didn't have a point in making it. After I shot it and while I was editing it, then you get to explore your point of view more, because you get to really see the different avenues of the storylines that you can take. And so I think for me at the very end of it, I really felt like I wanted to show that here was a man, here was a school that was very special, but that they were not unique. I wanted people to look at this one school and from this handful of dedicated teachers kind of extrapolate and say, hey, this kind of thing is going all over the U.S. in inner cities, in in low-income areas all across, that you have these pockets of dedicated people who are trying to do amazing things, which I think is against the stereotype of what most people think of public schools, which is it's just kind of a dead end for people, especially for African American and Latino teenagers. I worked with a lot of great people on the film, and there's no way I could have done it by myself at all. I think my biggest collaborator was probably my co-producer and editor, Zeb Smith. Just an amazing guy. We spent over a year and a half in the editing room together and just combing through 150 hours of footage, going probably through 10 to 15 different cuts, writing grant proposals with him. I think he really was just probably the best collaborator, and I just could not have done it without him. I also had a great camerawoman we used in New York City, because I'm actually in Los Angeles, so I had to depend upon a crew to shoot for me when I couldn't be there in New York City. So her name was Jillian Elizabeth. I had some great other people who worked with me too. So it was just a great collaboration. In terms of an executive producer, I worked with someone called Renee Tajman-Pena, who some people might know because of her work with a groundbreaking film called Who Killed Vincent Chin, way back when it was nominated for an Academy Award. She's also just done, she's had a great history of other films, especially about Asian American people. So I felt like she was a really good person to bring on as executive producer, who would get my film farther than I could get it by myself, and she definitely did that. I actually never intended to become a filmmaker or do documentary at all. Coming from a pretty typical Asian family background, I pretty much thought my options were being a doctor, being a lawyer, being a scientist, or maybe something in the financial field. When I graduated with a degree in economics in 1992, way back when, I just immediately headed to New York City and thought, find a job in a law firm on Wall Street, something like that. And so I worked actually in New York City for about 6 years, and the last 2 of that was for the Federal Reserve Bank of New York City. And then after that, I got married and I moved to California, where I continued to do banking for a commercial bank. Again, all never without a thought of doing documentary film. But I was never really satisfied with it, and I never really felt like I was talented in that area. I think some people are very talented as bankers and doctors and lawyers, but it just wasn't for me. And so one day I just started going to the library and renting out these films, and they're all documentaries. And I think the first one I remember seeing was Hoop Dreams. And that just absolutely, blew me away and changed my idea of what films could be. Because before that, I just thought, I thought more to mostly in the realm of fiction films like Star Wars and Raiders of the Lost Ark, and I didn't want to do that kind of thing. But when I saw in Hoop Dreams and in other documentaries, people telling real life stories, that were happening, right now, I don't want to be the next Ken Burns. I can't see myself sitting in an editing room and editing picture after picture that just kind of, zooms in or as a slow pan. That to me would just be death. I'd actually almost rather do banking than that. But I mean, again, that's not a knock against Ken Burns. It's not a knock against other people who want to do that kind of thing. It's just not my talent. And I think you really have to give your own film your own style and your own perspective, and not. You can borrow things from people like the Maysles brothers. I mean, I absolutely adore the way they shoot and the way they kind of let things happen. But eventually, you have to put your own style into it, and hopefully that's your voice as a documentary filmmaker, not just a subject, but actually how you craft your film. If you have that opportunity to do documentary filmmaking, keep at it. Find something that you love. And keep pushing the envelope of what's possible, and I'm sure I'll be learning from you someday.